So, as the legendary Tony Robbins often says, where focus goes, energy flows. So, thank you for joining me today on Map Your Focus workshop for 2024. I truly believe that our focus acts as the compass guiding us through, a really vast landscape of opportunities and also some challenges. It literally has the power to shape our reality. It can determine the path that we walk and the destination that we reach. So imagine that your focus as a painter's brush and your life, I suppose, is the canvas. So how you wield that brush determines your colors, the patterns, and ultimately the masterpiece that you create, which is your life. So today, we're going to explore, the different strokes of that craft, which is your narrative, and the intentional decisions that are going to map your journey. So, it's been a pretty challenging year for many last year. Lots of uncertainty, unforeseen obstacles, chaos in the world. But today offers a different opportunity for reflection and a little bit of empowerment. And I think as we navigate coming out of last year, it becomes increasingly evident that I think you need to be able to find your North Star. It's not just a concept, but literally, I believe this is a necessity. Particularly when you're feeling lost or you're feeling like you're at a crossroad. So what do we do when we're in this place of feeling lost? Because I know pretty well, because it's happened to me before. I literally sometimes I can't see the forest through the trees. And when you say, Laurie, what are your goals in 3 months' time or in 12 months' time? Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? Sometimes there is so much chaos and busy in my mind that I don't even know where to start. And I just can't even picture myself in the future. But sometimes you hear something, when you're watching a movie or you're listening to a podcast or, talking to a friend, and then something suddenly clicks for you. It hits this chord where it snaps, right? And you suddenly go, you know what, no more of this. I want to start living my best life because I deserve it. So we're all stressed, and something happens outside of our control, whether it's family issues or family health issues, some sort of emotional impact happens to you or something that just gives us this extreme stress. But here's the thing, you get the opportunity to make a change. So what's driving you to control your life? Because this is important. What is your biggest power that will allow you to make a change? It's choice. You can't control everything, but you can choose what to focus on. You can choose what to decide, and you can choose what to do about it. So I want you to stop and think just for a second about a decision that you've made in the past that has literally improved your life now, which is the future, from that decision. What about a decision also you've made in the past that didn't necessarily work out so well? So if you just think about that, a decision that you've made in the past that has impacted you positively right now, or something that's gone the opposite way. And I'm just going to give you a few examples. You get invited to meet your girlfriends for drinks after work, and so you decide to go. And while you're out there, you meet someone at the bar, and that actually turns out to be your person, your forever. Or you've been invited, to a birthday dinner of one of your friends, and it just so happens that while you're out, you get into this really good, groovy conversation with one of the attendees, and they get to know you, and they ask you about your work and what you do, and then they tell you about this position that has opened up in their company, and that leads you to apply for that job. Then you get the job, which just so happens to be a promotion and a pay rise, which now allows you to get the loan of the house that you wanted to buy. It has that cascading effect. Or perhaps when you were younger, a dentist, a doctor, a teacher, a family friend, a football coach, soccer coach, netball coach has had this impact on you, where you decide that that's what you want to do for your life. They were so good with you, teaching you all these netball things, the way that they nurtured the people, the way that they, had these values of letting everybody have a go. And you decide, I want to be like that. I want to take on that value. And that's, how I'm going to behave in the future. But again, you get to choose all these things. And all these decisions come from your personal values, right? So the beliefs that you have, the influences you've had in the past, both positive and negative. And so decisions can create your future. It creates your destiny. So if you want to change something right now, well, you've got the choice. You've got that power. But to start this, we need to make the little decisions. And with that in mind, this is where, we came up with this idea to do this, how to map your focus. The little decision starts on, where on earth do I even focus with my life right now? So today what we're going to do is start with a self-assessment. And I do this every 3 months. And what we've done here at the Sisterhood is that we've created our own wheel of life. And so we're going to go through these individual areas that we've created on the wheel. And so let me see if I can do this. I'm going to pop into the chat the wheel of life. But I'm also going to share it on my screen if I can manage to do it. So bear with me. So pop the wheel of life in there, and you can use this later if you're getting the recording, or if you want to pull it up on your own screen, you can share that file into the chat for me, Lauren. Thank you. That'd be great. And I'm going to share my screen right now with the wheel of life. So this is the one that we've created. Now, you can see that we've come up with some areas of your life. Now, you actually have the choice, again, decision, to change these. You don't have to use what we have here. You might think other areas of your life are important, and, I guess make your self-assessment on those areas. And these are the ones that we've come up with that are important to us. So I'm going to do, I'm not sure if everyone's seen a wheel of life before. There's heaps of versions out there. But as you can see, it looks like a little bit of a wheel. And in the center is the 0 number, and on each spoke, it goes out to 10. And what we're going to do is do a little bit of a self-reflection here on each category. And I'm going to ask you a bunch of prompting questions to help you out with this a little bit more. And after I've asked those questions, and you're really going to be thinking about this, you're then going to, at the end of each category, put a little marker or a number from 0 to 10, 10 being outstanding, 0 being not so crash hot, of where you think that area of your life sits for you right now. Okay. And you might actually find that, when you think about these and when I ask these questions, don't dwell on it. Like, it's whatever the gut feeling, the first instinct that you have, it's a quick exercise. So I'm going to move through fast, ask a bunch of probing questions. And, if something, when I ask you a question, you can write down little notes of, things you may want to improve because you haven't quite got there yet. Sure. Write your notes, all those sorts of things. But at the end of that, you're going to come up with your number. And I want you to think of the positive aspects and maybe areas of improvement, all right, at the end of each one. So we're going to start firstly with business and career. And I'm going to ask you these questions now so that you can assess where you are in this area of your life. So how does your work align with your personal values and your long-term goals? Do you feel a sense of passion and fulfillment in your career role or business? What aspects of your work energize you or inspire you? How well do you balance your professional and personal life? Are you satisfied with the amount of time and energy that you devote to your career compared to other areas of your life? Are there new skills or knowledge that you would like to acquire to enhance your career? How well does your work integrate with your overall lifestyle and well-being? How would you describe your current work environment? Is it conducive to productivity and well-being? Are there changes you can make to improve your work environment? How are your relationships with colleagues, supervisors, and maybe, some of your subordinates, peers? Are there any interpersonal challenges affecting how you feel about your workplace or your business? Does your current business or career align with your personal values and principles? And in what way does your work reflect what matters to you most? And then when you think about it, are there any specific milestones you'd like to achieve in the near future? Are you working towards those? So now that I've asked those few questions, they are quite fast. There's so much to consider there. But when you think about those things, where are you on the scale of 0 to 10 in your business and career goals? I'm going to move straight into health and wellness. On a scale of 1 to 10, what does a healthy and balanced life look like to you? Are you satisfied with your current physical health? Are there any sort of health concerns or issues that you would like to address, but you probably haven't been? How would you describe your current eating habits and your nutrition? Are there changes you would like to make to improve your diet? What is your current level of physical activity and exercise? Are you satisfied with your fitness routine? Do you feel the need for adjustments to change it up? How are you sleeping? How well are you sleeping? Is it regular? Is it the right amount of hours? Is there certain factors affecting your sleep that you need to address? What about stress? How do you manage your stress in your life effectively? What sort of stress relief activities or practices do you currently engage in? How would you describe your mental and emotional state? Are there mindfulness or relaxation techniques you could incorporate into your routine? Are you doing them? Do you need to do them? Are you proactive about preventative health measures, such as regular checks, doing all your screening and health checks there? Are there some better health-related habits that you can start to do to enhance your overall health and well-being? What about water? How much water are you consuming each day? Are you satisfied with your hydration? What self-care are you practicing regularly? Is there more that you could be doing or putting it into your routine? Is your work life impacting your health? Are there adjustments that you can make to, prioritize your health a little bit better? And do you need to? So when you consider all those things, what do you think you are from 0 to 10 in the health and wellness sector? Let's talk about finance and wealth. What are your short-term and long-term financial goals? Do you even know? Do you have them set? And if you do, are you satisfied with the progress that you're making towards reaching those goals? Have you implemented or put the steps in to make it happen? How well do you know and manage your budget? And how do you track your spending? Do you track your spending? Do you need to track your spending? Are there areas where you could make adjustments to improve your financial discipline? What is your approach to saving money, building financial security for yourself? So maybe future investments. Do you have an investment strategy in place? And are you happy with how it's performing? Do you have any outstanding debts? And if you do, how are you managing them? Do you know where you're at with regards to those debts and the timeline attached to it? What steps are you doing taking to reduce these debts? Do you have an emergency fund? Everyone, like the Mojo account. And is it at that level that provides you with a sense of security? And how well do you feel you handle any sort of unexpected financial challenges? Are you happy with how much you're making in your business or your career? Is that income level right for you? Are there opportunities for career growth or additional income streams that you can be exploring, maybe side hustles? How knowledgeable do you feel about your personal finance and investments? Are there areas where you would like to, learn more about financial literacy? What about giving and contributing to causes that mean something to you? Excuse me. Charitable contributions. And have you started planning for your retirement? And if so, are you satisfied with where it's tracking? Are there adjustments that need to be made? Have you thought about it? And so when you think about overall finances, how much stress do you currently experience when it comes to financial matters? What does financial success look like for you when you think about the future, long term? And how aligned are your current financial decisions with your vision of the future? So when we think about all those questions, what would you rate yourself right now with regards to wealth? Let's move into family and friends, or, relationships here. How satisfied are you with the amount of quality time that you are spending with family and friends? Are there changes that you can make to prioritize these meaningful connections? How well do you communicate with friends and family? Is it a priority? Do you do it often? Can it be changed? Can it be improved? Do you feel supported by family and friends in your personal and professional endeavors? And this is important. How well do you support them also? And how well do you establish and maintain healthy boundaries in your relationships? Are there areas where you need to set clearer boundaries for your well-being? How do you, and I guess your loved ones, how do you celebrate milestones, achievements, and make, that book I always talk about, The Power of Moments? Are you creating special moments for somebody else? Or are you too busy? Are you open to cultivating new friendships? Maybe expanding your social network or group or circle? How do you handle conflict with your family and your friends? And are there maybe strategies that you can implement to make that or improve that conflict resolution when those hard times come up? When we talk about romantic relationships, how satisfied are you with the intimacy and the connection? And, are there ways you can enhance that emotional connection or that physical aspect of your romantic relationships? What about long distance relationships? How do you navigate and maintain relationships with your friends and family that are dislocated from where you are, across the pond, perhaps, or different state, or regional? And are there strategies to strengthen these connections? And, when you think about your friends and family, do you share common ground, like common activities and hobbies with them? And if you don't, is there opportunities that you maybe can do that? And here's a really good question. How often do you express gratitude to your family and friends? In what way do you cultivate this culture within family and friends and within your relationships? So with that in mind, what do you rate yourself regarding your relationship with your family and friends? Let's talk about community and giving back. How involved are you in your local community or communities of interest? Are there opportunities to increase your engagement or contribute and be more active? Do you engage in any sort of volunteer work or community service, and do you want to? Are you satisfied with the impact that you're making with volunteer efforts and giving back there? What about philanthropy and giving back to you? Are there causes, organizations that you are passionate about supporting? Maybe you're not doing right now. How well do you connect with others in your community? Is there opportunities to strengthen community ties and foster this like sense of belonging, which so many of us need? And I mean, are you wanting to make an impact in your community or even the broader world, like giving back? It doesn't just have to be so local. I mean, now with technology, we've got so much access to broaden that. The world is our oyster. How do you measure positive change that you contribute? What does it mean to you? How do you leverage your networks and connections to give back? How conscious are you of the environmental impact, and what steps do you take to minimize it if it means something to you? Are there eco-friendly practices you can, maybe start doing personally and then maybe encourage it, with others? Do you support local businesses? And do you engage in, maybe there's opportunities to engage in teaching or mentoring roles within your community? How can you share these skills and knowledge that you have to benefit other people? So that's community and giving back. What do you rate yourself right now? I'm going to move into personal development. How committed are you to continuous learning and personal growth? Well, you're here, so that's a start. And are there new skills or knowledge areas that you want to explore that maybe you have been putting off? How effective are you at setting and achieving personal development goals? What specific goals are you currently working towards now? Do you already know? How well do you manage your time to accommodate personal development activities? I feel like I could comment on every single one of these things, on how on what I should be doing or what I am doing. So I hope you're kind of going through this same thought process with these questions. Are there adjustments you can make to improve yourself? Also, I guess to prioritize self-improvement. How often do you read books or, articles? Or and when I say that, I mean more from an educational perspective. And do you know what specific genres and topics that you actually would be more interested in learning more about? What about your mental well-being? What ways do you invest in that? Are there some, extra self-care practices you could be incorporating into your life? Are there moments of stillness and, that contemplation and reflection that you could probably prioritize a little bit more regularly? How do you build your people? When I always talk about being surrounded by your people. So what does that look like for you? How do you build and maintain a network of like-minded individuals for your own personal growth? Because people come and go and people have different interests that change and we evolve. And are there, mentorship opportunities or community and connection opportunities that you can, groups that you can join? And how do you nurture your creative side, engage in like hobbies? What's your outlet that, Is there an outlet you want to explore that you haven't been? How open are you to receiving feedback and personal professional improvement? And in what areas have you recently applied feedback to, I guess, enhance your own skills? It's a tough one, that one. How comfortable are you with taking on challenges and stepping out of your comfort zone? Are there specific risks that you're willing to take for personal development? And when you think about your current actions right now and the decisions that you're taking, do they align with your core values? Do you know what your core values are? Do you need to make some changes to ensure that you are aligning with your core values? Because when you understand your core values, that is exactly, it's the compass that guides you for all your decision making, because it aligns with your authentic self. So when you think about that, those few questions, personal development, where are you on the scale of 0 to 10 right now? Freedom. Yay. Well, firstly, there's financial freedom. How satisfied are you with your current financial situation in terms of providing the freedom to make choices, to do things? Are there financial goals you want to make or set, or achieve to enhance your sense of financial freedom so that you can make those choices? What about time freedom? How well do you manage your time to create a sense of freedom in your daily life? Are there time management strategies that you can implement to gain more control over your schedule? A tough one. Like, I am literally having to do and remanage this every couple of months. But I'm getting better each time, I think. What about career independence? How satisfied are you with your level of independence in your career? Do you have that freedom there to make decisions, make change? Are there steps you can take to increase this freedom in your career and business? What about personal boundary freedom? How well do you establish and maintain these personal boundaries to protect your time freedom or freedom of choice? Are there areas of your life where you maybe need to reinforce these boundaries? This is a big one. How often do you engage in travel so that you can experience this, freedom, sense of freedom? I mean, when you first start business, it can be quite hard to find any time to travel. It could be years for some businesses, business owners. And then, do you have any travel goals that you want to prioritize? Have you even thought about it? Because you should be allowed to be thinking about these things. You have to think about these things. If you don't think about them, you're never going to navigate there. What about the freedom to express your creativity, your both in your personal and professional life? How well do you manage and express your emotions? Do you feel like you've got the freedom to be your authentic emotional self? And what about for all the people that are in relationships here? Like, how much independence do you maintain within your relationship? Are there aspects there within your relationships where, you need to seek a little bit more freedom, whether that's to do more things alone or separately? Or how committed are you to continuous learning and personal growth from an intellectual freedom perspective? Here's a big one, the digital detox. Like, how often do you disconnect from technology to enjoy, a sense of like freedom from this constant connectivity and, I'd say, chaos and influence? Do you need to set more boundaries there? What about your legal rights and freedoms? Are you aware of those? Do you feel like you're not getting those? Can you start to advocate for personal or societal freedoms that are important to you? Is this, if it's important to you? So let's have a think about that one, and where you might be sitting on the freedom in all those different aspects. Sometimes when we think about freedom, we just think about freedom of time and freedom of choice, but there's so much more to freedom. But again, this is you. So you don't necessarily have to think about all of the specific areas I just delved into. You just worry about what's important to you. And then the last one is probably the best one because it's the fun stuff. It's the entertainment kind of stuffs. And this is, one that we all can be better at doing is incorporating the fun stuff into our world. What hobbies and activities bring you joy? What makes you laugh? Where's the excitement in your life? How often are you engaging in these activities? Are there new activities that you want to explore? How spontaneous and adventurous are you in your daily life? Do you want to be? Maybe you just like routine, but maybe you do want to be a bit more spontaneous. Excuse me. Are there opportunities for more unplanned and spontaneous moments of fun? Do you want to do that? Have a think about it. What about celebrating milestones in your life? Some families and friends are really good at it, and then some people just like shrug it off as if, yeah, it's just another day. Where are you on that scale? Are there special occasions or achievements that you haven't yet celebrated that maybe you should? What about being playful in your relationships? I don't know why I did that. Playful. Being lighthearted and, how you interact with your family and your friends. Can you, I guess, interject some more humor and playfulness into those relationships? Or do you want to? Maybe you're serious. What about entertainment choices? Like when you think about, movies or music and, concerts and I guess other forms of media. What are you doing about that sort of entertainment? Are there other, genres of artists that you're wanting to explore, different concerts you want to go to? What about social events? When you think about, are you participating? Are you saying yes to social events if that's something that's important to you so that you can get out there and go to gatherings and connect with people? Maybe you actually want to organize your own. Maybe you just want to attend some. Are you adventurous in your travel exploration? You've got these dream destinations. Are you throwing it out there, planning it? Are you expressing creativity in ways that makes you, fulfills you, makes you happy? How often are you getting outside and enjoying nature? Here's an important one. How mindful are you of the present moment and enjoying the simple pleasures of life? This has been a huge revelation for me in the past 6 months. Are there mindfulness practices or activities that maybe would resonate with you? And how, like the last question, how often do you laugh? Every day. And if you don't, maybe you want to start incorporating that. So when you think about the fun, how fun are you? How playful are you? Where are you from 0 to 10 in that category? I'm just going to give you a quick second to finalize that. And so now that you've got a mark, you've placed a marker in each of those categories in the areas of your life. My question to you is, are you happy with where you are right now? Has going through this exercise started to create any insight for you? Have you noticed some standout areas that just aren't where you really want them to be? And so I'm pretty sure there's a few there. And the great news is we've got 2024. We've got this entire year now to get this sorted, to put more focus into these areas. So when you look at the wheel now, let me share my screen again, I suppose. That might be helpful. Or you can pull it up yourself. Now you can see that. So when you look at the wheel now, I want you to choose 3 areas that you feel you need to put more effort into this year. So just write those 3 areas down. But when you're writing them down, I want you to put them in order of importance to you, which might be hard. And if you can't do that, don't stress about it. No worries. Just put a 1, 2, 3 next to which one is most important. And when you think about importance to you, think about it from like, I need to get this sorted ASAP. So you've got this sense of urgency towards something, could make it come, to the forefront and be an important focus. Or another way you can look at it would be, what's the biggest impact? Like if I focus on this area, what's the biggest impact? Which one's going to have the biggest impact and change my life for the better? Because what we're going to do now is just talk a little bit about, we're going deeper. What does it mean to you if you focus on that area? So think about one area. Well, you're going to do all three of these areas, but think about one of these areas right now and ask, I'll ask you, how does this impact your life? Why? What is your reason? Because, if you don't have a reason, I'll explain that in a minute. But what is your reason for wanting to do this, wanting to focus on this particular area of your life? Because the thing is, if you don't have a strong enough reason, or you can't see the reward, the outcome, the impact, the improvement that it's going to provide for your life, then your willpower, the will to do this, isn't going to be strong enough for you to follow through. And you might start it, but you're not going to be able to continue with it, which is what 80% of the population does. They start, but they don't finish. So I want you to really consider this. Like, what is your reason for wanting to focus on this area? And how will it change your life? And you might need to come back to this and really think about it because it's so important. But you've chosen 3 areas. So now the key thing is we've got to decide, right? That good old chestnut there, decision, the choice is yours. You get to decide now how you're going to make this happen. And I'll tell you why, because your future depends on this now. The decision you make today on how and what you're going to do about this focal area, well, your future depends on this. So you need to take action. So I want you to write down or think about at least, what's one little step, one thing, one action item that you can take tomorrow or today, depending what time it is for you, to literally start putting more focus and intentionally start to create change in this area. For example, say one of your focus areas is health and wellness. And this was one of mine last quarter. And, you've not been doing, your regular checks, all the girly checks and things that you need to do. The one thing that I could do to make this and start, focusing on this area is ring the doctor and start booking these appointments tomorrow. Literally starts to change that. Or perhaps you want to get fitter. You're not happy with, your body or your energy levels. So book a PT or book a nutrition appointment or join a gym. You can do that tomorrow. Or you can download an app, which is cheaper. Find a buddy, connect with them, and, check in with them on a, daily or weekly basis for your, commitments to fitness. Whatever it is that's going to make you do it. Maybe it's investing in a course. So you're going to start doing the research to upskill based on how long it takes, how much it costs, the qualification or the knowledge that you get at the end. Maybe it's joining a group to make a connection or reaching out to a friend to organize a catch-up to improve your relationships. So have a think about that. One action. Because here's the thing. If you were to sit here and create and map out an entire plan to get from here to climb the mountain, that journey is rough. Like you look up there and that can be extremely overwhelming. But we do that in the mastermind, and I'm happy to work through, that with you separately if need be, or you can do that yourself as well. We've got tools lying around in the members room, but that journey can look hard and that's overwhelming. And when you sometimes consider how far you have to go, that puts us off and that stops us or prevents us from even taking that first step. So we don't want to do that. We're making one decision today is what area are we going to focus on? And the second decision that you're going to make is what's the one action item I'm going to do in each of these categories that is going to start moving me forward, whether it's research, calling somebody, booking an appointment, whatever it is for you. And once you've made that first step and you've carried out, maybe booked that appointment, what's the next step after that? Okay, I've done the appointment now. Cool. Now I'm going to wait for my results. What am I going to do? I'm now going to, put it in my notebook to reschedule the following year, the following month, whatever you need to do. Once you've done the first step, the next step always comes to you. And if it's something that's miles bigger and you still can't get clarity on the next step, then maybe you need to think about brainstorming all the possible things or action items that you could do. Or maybe this is where you need to start getting a coach or do a course to help you. So I want you just to think about that. So today we've explored the various areas of your life. You've started to acknowledge the strengths that you have, identified areas of growth for you so that you can create intentional change this year in 2024. Because remember this, the power to shape your life lies in your hands. So we're going to step away from this workshop. We are going to add a PDF here that's going to walk you through the wheel of life again, maybe not with so many prompted questions. It is in our Design Your Life course, all the prompted questions, understanding your values, doing a whole heap of really cool stuff. If you want it there, and of course, we also do that in the mastermind if that's something you're looking at going to. But here's a PDF to at least keep you going. It's something you can use every month, every 3 months, once a year if you want to. We're going to add that to the chat. And for those of you that are watching the recording, please reach out to us if you haven't received it. We'll make sure that we get that to you. But here's the thing, I really encourage you not to let these, all this reflection just fade into the background of, you've got to turn some of this into your daily routine. Okay, we've got to carry some of this forward. You've got to have purpose. You've got to make it your purpose. So take the wheel of life and start making sure that, the destination that you want to be moving towards aligns with your values, your aspirations, your dreams, not somebody else's. And this is why we like to do this by ourselves personally. It's not about making drastic change, and certainly not overnight. Maybe in 2 years it might look like that, but we don't need to do it that way. It's just about taking consistent, intentional steps towards the life that you desire. Whether that's nurturing relationships, pursuing personal development, embracing some financial freedom, or injecting more fun into your days. Like, this journey is uniquely yours. Action is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. So from here, get some determination about you, get some focus, set some tangible goals, create a bit of a roadmap, one step after another, and commit to small daily actions, because that will accumulate into some pretty profound transformations. Just remember this, your story it's being written. It's still being written, and you are the author. Right. If you guys need any more support in the future, please reach out. Start engaging more in the members room so we can connect just that little bit more, learn from each other, ask for resources, ask for help. That's what we're there for. But the rest is up to you from here, ladies. I hope you have a fabulous night, and I look forward to chatting to you all soon.